What's up, beautiful people? Happy New Year and welcome back to the R&D show. We're your hosts. I'm Shad.
I'm Ryan.
This is the R&D show.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hopefully, everybody has been having an amazing 2024. And again, we say Happy New Year and hope all is well with you and your family.
Yes. Hopefully everyone's off to an amazing start. And I'm looking forward to a year of completion. That's what 2024 is for me, completing a number of things that I have on my plate that were carried over from 2023. So 2024 for me is a year of completion. I'm excited about it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, elevation in all aspects of our lives. So there's a lot that's been going on in the world of music and the reality world and just in general. So we want to jump right into it, starting off with Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X.
You mean J. Christ?
J. Christ. Like, what are we doing, Lil Nas X? Like, what are we doing? It's interesting because you think about Lil Nas X when he first started with Old Town Road, and he seemed like this very subdued, quiet, a little timid, innocent black kid who just wanted to, be heard, wanted his song to be heard. He had such a great song, and his song was heard. I mean, it's been heard and it continues to play. Um, it's a very popular song, especially with elementary school students and just kids in general love it. So it's the biggest song of his career, right? So you would think that just off of that, that would then provide the way that he's going to move forward within his career, right? Wrong. Lil Nas X has become like a gimmick. It's very interesting because he's more into being viral and creating these images and narratives, which to me kind of diminishes the talent that he has.
Yeah, maybe he came out more clean, just more palatable to the people, just being more able to be received. And now he's being more of his authentic self, more of his creative side is coming out. It seems extreme to some people, but he could have that came out just more mainstream and had music that was more comfortable. And then once he was able to reach a massive audience and do the number one of the top songs ever, he now has kind of maybe gone deeper into who he really is. It seems gimmicky. It does seem gimmicky, but this may be who he was all the time.
I don't know. I think sometimes people get so caught up in the celebrity lifestyle, the industry lifestyle, and wanting to just be an A+ celebrity that you'll do anything to stay relevant. You'll do anything to get this attention, whether it be negative or positive. You'll do anything to just have people talking, and that's what he's doing. I mean, you come out with a song called J. Christ, and before that you release like just the visual of the artwork, and it's you on a cross. And then the video comes out, and it's just like, it's a lot to take in, especially if you're a Christian or if you're religious or spiritual in general. You're probably kind of in conflict of how you feel about the song. Number one, I mean, he says, back up out the gravesite, bitch, I'm back like J. Christ. So it's just kind of like, the lyrics already are a lot to take in, and now you have these visuals with him in hell and then in heaven and then on the cross, and it's just kind of, it's a tough pill to swallow, I would say.
Yeah, as I was watching it, I was in awe, but also I was kind of conflicted. Like, what the heck is going on here? But the more I looked at it, he started off, crossing up Satan, breaking Satan's ankles, and then dunking on him, then breaking his neck. So, I think from his perspective, he's not a Satanist. He actually killed the devil in this particular song, and he's coming back like J. Christ, and we all know that J. Christ had the greatest comeback of all time, and that's his perspective. But I see the conflict, I see the religious imagery, and just to be able to put yourself on a cross like Jesus, I mean, that's really bold, but I do kind of get where he's coming from. So I'm trying to stay open-minded. Although initially I was like, what the heck is this?
I just kind of wish that he would let because he's talented. He's very, very talented. Clearly he's very talented. And to just let his talent speak for himself. Like, let's take away all of the antics and the gimmicks and, oh, this is gonna make me go viral type of thing, and let's just focus on the music and see how far that goes. Would that get you as many clicks and views? Would that still spark the conversation? I would love to see that growth, because this song literally sounds like a song that was already on Montero. Was that the name of it?
Yeah.
It sounds similar to that song. So as far as imagery goes, as far as the songs go, there's no growth, clearly, because maybe he's found this is the lane that's working for him, and so he wants to stay in that lane. But I would just like to see him stripped down to like just Lil Nas X without overdoing
It's
it.
really interesting because we said about Lil Nas X, but we see all these rappers, all these women being overly sexual in all their videos, and kissing each other, making out with each other, and everything's about sex. But when it comes to Lil Nas X, we're really, really overcritical. Even Beyonce, who I love, is my favorite artist of all time, she sells an element of sex in her things, but she's a bit more tasteful these days. But he's doing nothing no different than anybody else, than Madonna, than Cardi B, than Megan Thee Stallion, than a lot of these artists have been doing over the time, creating drama. Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga, but he's just a male version of that. I think it's a double standard when it comes to looking at Lil Nas X versus a lot of the women who just mainly talk about the same thing all the time and consistently selling sex.
Well, I think selling sex is different from selling blasphemy or mockery or those. I just feel like those are two different things, and I think that he's treading, right? He's treading on this religious type of mockery trail that can be very offensive to a lot of people. That's different from being tasteful. Like Beyonce is being tasteful in the way that she dresses and the things that she says about
Megan Thee Stallion, their song.
But I think sex is different from what he's doing. He's not selling a tasteful sex. He's not out here like, you know what I mean? I think, of course, we've seen him in his videos where he's been naked and it's been blurred out, but I don't think that that's his mission. I think his mission is more so to just stir up confusion.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm here just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So I see your perspective, but I'm trying to look at it from his perspective and also have just, compare him to what a lot of other artists are out here doing. I know that he's going to be more heavily criticized. One, because he is an openly gay black male in the hip hop industry. Like, you just don't see that. And I know it can be tough for people to receive. So I'm trying to stay more open-minded.
So then why give them more to talk about if that is the case? Because I don't think nobody's focused on that. Nobody has come out and be like, hey, this isn't anything that I've read had nothing to do with his sexuality. It's about what he's singing about or rapping about and what his
I'm just saying people
about.
may just be more critical because they're not talking about that, but they may be have a more critical eye. And because a lot of times people correlate, being gay with being wrong. In the Bible, and people correlate, even in the Bible, people use the Bible to combat homosexuality as well. So I'm just thinking about it from that perspective, although, I think it's fine, it's okay. But I think people could be overly critical of him.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but Luna, like, I don't feel like it's necessary. Would like to see some growth. Would like to see just do something different. I mean, talented kid.
Great. I agree. I mean, he can sing, he can dance. He wrote and directed the video. I thought the video was just creative as hell. Now we can argue about was it like worshiping the devil or whatever, but it was his mind, and he can rap. He does so many things. So he does country music, he does R&B, he does hip hop. He's just so diverse and talented. So he could really focus on that. But like you said, I think he's trying to stay relevant, and he is doing some things that are a little bit controversial to keep people talking. But guess what? We're talking.
That's what I said. He's doing stuff. I mean, the song's talking about do something to make it go viral. He stays doing things to make himself go viral. But is it necessary, is what I'm saying. You have a huge fan base right now. I don't think going to the extreme of making it seem as if it's questionable if you're Illuminati. It's questionable if you've sold your soul. It's questionable if you worship the devil. It's questionable. All these things are questionable. It's not even about everything else about you coming out and, this is your lifestyle. none of that matters. Nobody talks about that. Nobody cares.
It could be an
It's more so
underlying
just
thing.
like,
It may not be overt thing, but it could be something that's underlying. It's interesting. I was reading something where he said BET Awards made him promise that he wasn't a devil worshiper or a Satanist in order to perform on the 2022 awards, and he complied. He was able to say that he wasn't a devil worshiper. So I know his music seems controversial, but he claims that he worships Christ, and so
I mean, judgment free zone. I mean,
you know,
do what works for you. It's just an opinion. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Again, won't take away from how talented he is, and just having another talented black male in the industry is just always good to see. So,
Yeah, I concur.
good luck, sir. Moving right along, let's go into Nicki Minaj, who dropped Press Play on Friday with Future, which is a song. She keeps dropping these songs that are not on the Pink Friday 2 album, but then become more songs added to that album. It's almost like every other week she's dropping a new song to, I guess, to keep the momentum, keep people talking, the hype of it all, and give her more things to rant and rave about on social media, which is what she does, right? And so in the song that has gone viral because of the lyrics that she addresses Beyonce with, and what she says is, they say, why can't you be Beyonce? Daddy wasn't no businessman. Mama wasn't no business owner. And so, of course, social media took that and ran with it. And there has been Beyonce against Nicki Minaj for the last 2 days based off of those lyrics. And so pretty much what people are saying, like when you read some of the stuff, people are saying that Nicki Minaj is trying to say that she's not where Beyonce is or as big as Beyonce is because her dad wasn't a businessman and her mom wasn't a business owner. So pretty much Beyonce was already set up for success to be as big as she is, which everybody knows that's not the truth.
She has a leg up, just like a lot of Caucasian people when they come into wealth and their parents are CEOs of companies, they have an advantage. And Beyonce had an advantage. You can't deny her talent, but also with talent, you need marketing, you need people to help cultivate that talent. And I do think she might have had a leg up from that standpoint. Is that the reason why Nicki Minaj is not where Beyonce is? I'm not sure, but we all know that there is a sense of privilege coming from a middle class household like Beyonce came from, and having the training, having her dad back her at a very early age at 5 to be investing in her so much. And if you don't have a father figure or mother figure like that investing in you, you're going to be at somewhat disadvantage. You even look at like Usher. He had his mother behind him, and so these people have their strong parents that are the managers behind them. It can be helpful, but sometimes it can be limiting because they can be overbearing. And sometimes a kid just wants to have a parent as their mother or their father, not as a manager as well. So I kind of see the point. I don't see why Beyonce fans are upset. She's just stating a fact. She didn't say it's not anything against Beyonce. She's not saying that she's not hating against Beyonce. She's saying Beyonce had this privilege, which I think it is a privilege for her to have a mom and dad both in her life and really pushing and developing her along the way.
I guess I would have to disagree. I only disagree because our backgrounds may influence who we are, but we're responsible for who we become, right? And so within that, there has been plenty of stories of rappers, singers living in their car, movie stars living in their car, struggling, not having this, not having that, not having the means, but because of the motivation and the ambition and the drive, this is why they are where they are today. Now, Beyonce, if you know Beyonce's story from very early on, yes, she grew up with both of her parents, but that's not why Beyonce is where Beyonce is today and why Beyonce is who she is today. But what we do know is the reason why Beyonce is Beyonce of today is because of the hard work that Beyonce put in. Of course, her dad did great with marketing Destiny's Child, and then when she went solo, did great with investing even more and making sure that she had endorsements and she was seen and all the rest of the stuff. But it also took Beyonce's work ethic, self-discipline, and motivation to get to where she is today. Rehearsal, continuous rehearsal, practice, vocal coaching. Like she's a machine within herself of wanting to be perfect, a perfectionist, right? So you have these people like you have a Brandy who had both of her parents the same type of upbringing as far as both of them pouring into her and all the rest of this stuff. But at some point, the difference is even though Brandy had a head start as well, did she continue on that path of wanting to be a global superstar, of wanting to be the best of the best, of wanting to be this, that, and the other? Beyonce just has never stopped. And so we can't just say that because of her mom and her dad, this is why Beyonce is the Beyonce of today.
Yeah, we can't say that, and we can't say vice versa. That like if she didn't have her mom and dad as active in her life in her in the music industry, that she would have still achieved success. We don't know what that would have looked like. We can guess that she's a hard worker. We can guess that she's one of the most talented human beings of all time. But who knows what could have happened to her, at an early age if she didn't have that level of support.
Of course,
we don't know.
She's good,
but
right?
she has. We can say that Beyonce is incredibly talented. She's a hard worker. She's classy. She's great marketing. She's an amazing businesswoman. But I can't say who she would be without her parents. That's difficult for me to say.
But we're not saying that Nicki Minaj didn't have her parents. Her mom was in Trinidad, and something about I forget what she said about her dad.
I think what she's saying is not just relevant to her. She's talking about the pressure to live up to someone like Beyonce. It may not be healthy for the society to have that pressure, and that like having the parents that support you in the way they did is helpful. And so maybe everybody shouldn't aspire to be Beyonce. That's almost unrealistic.
I don't think it's about aspiring to be Beyonce. I think that Beyonce is a blueprint of just like, if I could do it, you can do it. But not only that, the blueprint of what it looks like when you put in hard work, what it looks like when you cut out the world and you just focus on your craft, what it looks like when no matter what people have said about you or the things that have been done to you, you don't address those things. You don't get on Twitter and rant and rave. You don't bully people. Like Nicki Minaj, she has created a gimmick of herself. Like, to me, it has nothing to do with...
I agree wholeheartedly on that.
You'll never be like Beyonce because you're not mature like Beyonce. It has nothing to do with like, you say that you're the queen of rap, but you stay off your throne throwing tomatoes. You stay off your throne like anybody that's coming up new. You don't nourish that talent. You talk bad about that talent. You go against that talent. You want to be the one and only talent. And so it's tough to even have you in the same conversation as a Beyonce because mentally you're nowhere there. You're so immature and it's crazy because Nicki Minaj is so talented, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, we would be lying if we didn't say that she's the greatest rapper right now, right? Period. The problem is her behavior and her antics diminishes just how amazing she is. And so when you look at the way that she acts on Instagram, the way that she acts on Twitter, how she's always blaming this person and saying that this person is against her, or now that this person is friends, now she got to bully them and come up with... When you look at that behavior, you overlook just how talented she is. Like, I can't even listen to her music because I think about just how bad her behavior is at maybe 42 years old, you're a mom, you know what I'm saying? You're a wife, and you call yourself the queen of rap. Like, what queen is acting this way? So it's very interesting that and I feel like she also put that, and you touched on a little bit, those lyrics in there because people always say Beyonce would never. Like, Beyonce would never get on here and talk about people. Beyonce would never act the way that you're acting, Nicki, and you're a queen of rap. So I feel like she's saying, well, I'm not Beyonce. And because I'm not Beyonce, I can do what I want to do. And my fans is just going to run with it anyway, which her fans do. She has some crazy delusional fans. Not all of them, but some of them are very delusional. And I feel like just like how she lacks social and emotional and mental intelligence, a lot of them as well do too. Because if you read some of that stuff, it's like y'all can't be in y'all 30s, late 20s, 40s acting this way and thinking that this behavior is acceptable, and then also going on this bullying train against other artists just because the person that you favor is bullying somebody else. Like, how do we do better? Like, how does she show up different? Not saying that she has to show up as Beyonce, but I don't know, it's weird.
But she also limits herself from a business perspective. I have friends who work at several corporations in the music industry that have interacted with her. And let me tell you, these companies do not like working with her. even in the most recent incident for the probably about 2 weeks ago, she showed up 7 hours late to somewhere. Like, that's just impermissible to be to show up 7 hours late. So
that's because she was probably showing up on Instagram unhinged. That's why.
So
she
I
was
agree.
Unhinged on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's just not likable.
She's
She's not a likable person. That's what I say. If she was more likable, she would have a bigger fan base. But I can't say, if she had a different set of parents, if, would she have turned out differently? I don't know those things, but I know where she is right now. We can't let our circumstance define who we are. And so I know that the actions and behaviors that she has today is not conducive to being a Beyonce type. But I do believe Beyonce had a privilege of having both her mom and dad super active in her life. And I can't not deny probably that had something to do with her level of success. And I'm sure they influenced her in a lot of ways. And she says that. But I don't think that's a reason why they're different. I don't think it's the main reason why they're different. I think Nicki has her own set of issues. But
I mean, anytime somebody invests in your talent, right? It can be a stranger. It can be an auntie and uncle. It can be anybody like that. They see how talented you are, and so they invest in it. Anytime that happens with anybody, that gives them a greater chance, right? Because you have somebody that's backing you. You have a push. You have the financial backing, and now you have access to resources and tools and things of that nature. But we still seen all these videos of rehearsal,
Yeah,
practice, rehearsal.
sure.
I mean, they was 11, 12, 13 running in heels on a treadmill and singing at the same time to, help with breathing technique. And it never failed. They went on auditions and didn't win stuff. He put them in different competitions. So it was like, yes, he was able to do these things as anybody was that we seen on any of these talent competitions or these. I just feel like I hear what she's saying and I see what she's trying to do. However, at this stage in your life, that isn't really relevant because you are a superstar. Like, you are a global superstar. You are the queen of what you do, but your behavior. So if we have to pick and choose, is it about the music or is it about the behavior? What is she talking about when it comes to the Beyonce phrase, the metaphor? And to me, I just feel like it's more so about the behavior and why she shows up the way that she does, because that's mostly what she's getting a lot of